Prepare to immerse yourself in a dark and distressing enigma, where the line between hope and despair becomes thin. Join us on this journey to unravel the mysterious disappearance of Julieta Abigail Del Pino, a young woman who vanished into the mist of a Friday afternoon. That fateful July 24, 2020, Julieta was cycling back home in Santa Fe after a day of work. The few kilometers separating her from her home seemed insurmountable, a foreshadowing of what was to come. The phone contact with her mother, the last link with the known world, was broken, leaving an agonizing void. Julieta's disappearance unleashed a frantic search, led by her mother and supported by family and neighbors. Agents from the Criminal Investigation Agency, firefighters, and the K-9 unit joined in a desperate effort to find her. In the shadows of suspicion, several clues led investigators to a man known to the victim, Christian Romero. Testimonies and surveillance images placed him at the center of attention, culminating in his detention during a tumultuous operation, where the community's fury almost consumed him. What really happened? What led Julieta to disappear? Is Christian Romero the real culprit, or just a scapegoat? Does Julieta's mother hold any secrets that could unravel the case? Join us in this disturbing investigation and help us unravel the mysteries surrounding Julieta Del Pino's disappearance. Hello everyone, welcome to the True Crime Files Investigations channel. If you are a lover of real criminal stories, get ready for an exciting marathon. Every week, we will explore shocking and remarkable cases, the most complex and intriguing ones, with an in-depth analysis of the details and motivations behind each event, which leads us to question human nature. Subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos, and ensure you're always up to date with our exclusive content. Leave your like to strengthen our community and motivate me to bring more and more impactful and unprecedented stories. Get ready to discover the backstage of the crime world, learn about the failures of the judicial system and the stories of victims fighting for justice. Welcome to an investigative and emotional journey. I count on you on this journey. The truth is about to be revealed. So, fasten your seatbelts, because the investigation begins now. In Baravivu, a quiet town in the province of Santa Fe, Argentina, March 2, 2001, marked the birth of Julieta Abigail Del Pino, a girl who, from an early age, would radiate joy and tenderness wherever she went. Raised in a home full of love and unity, Julieta had her parents, Fabiana Moran and Adrian Del Pino, and her two brothers, Johnny, the eldest, and the youngest, whose name remains a mystery. The family, who adored her, affectionately nicknamed her PP, a nickname that soon spread among her friends, becoming a hallmark of her captivating personality. Julieta, a calm and friendly young woman, developed a deep love for animals and nature, seeking refuge in outdoor leisure moments. Her days were filled with studies at the private incorporated secondary school, a journey she made daily by bicycle, appreciating every detail of the way. The connection with her family was unbreakable, a bond strengthened even more when she became the godmother of Johnny's son, her older brother, a moment of pure happiness in her life. On July 24, 2020, at the age of 19, Julieta, with a promising future ahead, had already finished high school and, to help with household expenses, started working at a kiosk near her residence. That fateful Friday, after a workday that extended until 11 p.m., Julieta called her mother, a nightly ritual, to let her know she was on her way home and to ask her to prepare dinner. "Mom, when I start cleaning and closing the kiosk, I'll call you, and you can warm up the food for me. I'll send you a message," Julieta said, her voice full of affection. At 11:20 p.m., the message arrived, "Mom, warm up my food, I'm on my way." Little did Fabiana know that these would be the last words of her beloved daughter. The call, a routine for Julieta, who was extremely close to her mother, was a moment of connection between the two, a bond that transcended age and time. Fabiana, who still saw her daughter as a princess, never imagined that this conversation would be the last contact between them. The bicycle ride, which normally took less than 20 minutes, turned into an agonizing wait that lasted more than half an hour. Worry took over the house, and attempts to contact Julieta were unsuccessful. Around midnight, the young woman's cell phone lost signal, further increasing her parents' despair. Fabiana, distressed, called Johnny, who suggested that perhaps his sister had gone out with friends. However, Fabiana knew that Julieta always gave notice of her plans, and that night's conversation did not indicate any intention of going out. Despite the anguish, Fabiana tried to calm down, thinking that perhaps Julieta was with friends and her cell phone was dead. But at 5 a.m. on Saturday, when she woke up and realized that her daughter had not returned, a dark premonition invaded her. Desperate, Fabiana went out in search of her daughter, scouring the city streets and rural roads, but without finding any trace of Julieta. Faced with the absence of clues, the mother decided to seek the authorities, who immediately began the search. A task force composed of members of the Criminal Investigation Agency, the Public Order Units Group, specialized teams with sniffer dogs, and firefighters joined forces to unravel the mystery of Julieta's disappearance. The police conducted numerous interviews throughout the city, in a joint effort to find the young woman. Fabiana, in a mix of hope and despair, accompanied the authorities to all the places Julieta frequented in Baravivu, but the search proved fruitless. The disappearance of Julieta Abigail Del Pino turned into an enigma that echoed throughout the city, leaving an immense void in the hearts of her family and friends. In the desperate search for any clue that could lead to her daughter's whereabouts, Fabiana Del Pino, a distressed mother, started a campaign that resonated throughout the small town of Baravivu. Using a messaging platform, she sent an audio that quickly went viral, a cry of anguish that echoed in the hearts of the residents. In the audio, Fabiana recounted the events of the previous night, when Julieta, after a day of work, called home asking her mother to prepare dinner. "Mom, warm up my food, I'm on my way," Julieta said, words that now echoed with a painful meaning. The young woman's sudden and unexplained disappearance launched the family into a frantic search throughout the region. Fabiana, in her desperate plea, asked the recipients of the message to ask their children and contacts if they had organized any event at a nearby location, a faint hope that Julieta might have joined them without warning. Fabiana's cry for help was heard by almost all the residents, and the community joined forces in a joint effort to find the missing young woman. On Saturday, a day that dragged on in agony, crucial information emerged. Johnny, Julieta's brother, was contacted by someone who had access to security cameras at the location. The images revealed a disturbing detail. Minutes before disappearing, Julieta was seen pedaling her bicycle back home, closely followed by a white Volkswagen GOL. Upon crossing the train tracks, a few blocks from her mother's house, Julieta and the vehicle disappeared from the camera's field of view. Johnny, with a heavy heart, recognized the vehicle in the video and helped identify the driver, Christian Romero, an acquaintance of the Del Pino family. The information, added to the testimonies of Julieta's friends, pointed to Christian, a 28-year-old man known in the city as Chor, as the main suspect. A co-worker of Johnny's in construction, Christian had a history of violence and problems with illicit substance use, according to neighbors. Fabiana, with a trembling voice, revealed that Christian had frequented her house several times, sharing meals with the family. That fateful morning, Christian worked normally with Johnny and, when questioned about Julieta's whereabouts, denied any knowledge. He even offered to help with the search, spending the day with the family, acting as if he had nothing to do with the disappearance. However, the evidence pointed to his involvement, and his arrest was ordered. The news of Christian's arrest spread like wildfire through the city, generating outrage and revolt among the residents. The suspect had to be rescued by the authorities, as the community was trying to lynch him. For safety, he was transferred to a police station 18 kilometers from Baravivu, but the fury of the residents followed him, forcing the authorities to transfer him again, this time to the Malinkyu Penitentiary, 63 kilometers from his residence. According to reports, Christian left the police station wearing a police uniform, in an attempt to go unnoticed. On Sunday, July 26, after Christian's arrest, the prosecutor responsible for the case, Susanna Pepino, ordered a search of the suspect's residence. During the operation, 2 sniffer dogs trained to locate corpses insistently indicated the water tank in the backyard of the house. There, buried and covered with dirt and lime, the body of Julieta Del Pino was found, wearing only underwear. The family's worst nightmare became a reality. Despite the hard work of the authorities and the Baravivu community, Julieta's clothes, her backpack, and the bicycle she used to get around were never found, a mystery that remains a shadow over the tragedy. The forensic evidence, like a macabre puzzle, came together, revealing the horror that Julieta faced. Analyses performed at Christian Romero's residence confirmed what the family feared. Julieta was there, and it was there that her life was brutally cut short. The analysis of the blood traces found on the property left no doubt. They belonged to the young woman. Initially, the circulating information was that Julieta had been a victim of sexual violence, assaulted with a bottle on the head and attacked 5 times with a sharp object. However, the prosecutor's office, in a subsequent statement, clarified that the autopsy revealed that the cause of death was asphyxiation, ruling out stab or gunshot wounds. The expert report and the police investigation, like a beacon in the darkness, allowed the authorities to draw a possible hypothesis about Julieta's last moments. It is believed that, when the young woman was only 2 blocks from her house, Christian intercepted her and forcibly took her to his residence, located a short distance away. There, he would have violently beaten her, leaving bruises all over her face, and suffocated her to death. After the crime, he dragged the body to the back of the house and hid it in a well, in an attempt to erase the traces of his heinous act. To further hinder the discovery, he spread lime and dirt over the body, covering it with a cement slab and a water tank. The autopsy also revealed that the crime occurred between midnight on Friday, July 24th, and the early morning of Saturday, July 25, 2020. Regarding the evidence of sexual assault, the initial information was confusing, but subsequent reports ruled out this possibility. After confirmation of the body's discovery, a text began circulating on social media, a cry for justice that resonated on the profiles of users sensitized by the macabre case of Julieta Del Pino. Christian Romero was charged with the crime and detained preventively, awaiting the hearings of the judicial process. Julieta's wake, marked by pain and longing, was held in an intimate ceremony, due to pandemic restrictions, gathering only the victim's closest circle. The burial, in the Baravivu cemetery, gathered dozens of people who said goodbye to the young woman, whose violent departure, with all her life ahead, shocked and disturbed the tranquility of the small town of Santa Fe. Julieta's mother, with a broken heart, lamented that the Ni Una Menos movement, which opposes violence against women, previously distant, in Buenos Aires, was now present in her own city. The community, which had always prided itself on the closeness and familiarity between neighbors, was surprised by the tragedy, which showed that security could be violated at any time, even by one of their loved ones. On Saturday, August 1st, a week after the crime, Julieta's family joined hundreds of people in a demonstration for justice. The young woman's mother, with a trembling voice, expressed the pain of feeling her daughter's presence at home, even without being able to see her physically. Accompanied by her husband and eldest son, Fabiana led the mobilization, which began in the afternoon, amid applause and slogans. The march followed the same route that Julieta had taken before disappearing. In the city square, visibly emotional and surrounded by her family, Fabiana thanked the support of local residents and neighboring communities, emphasizing the importance of not feeling abandoned in her fight for justice. At the end of the day, Fabiana reflected on the solidarity she received since the complaint, expressing her commitment to continue fighting for all affected families and for survivors. In honor of Julieta's life, local artists created a mural in one of the warehouses in the city center. For Fabiana, the work reflected the essence of her daughter, with elements she valued, such as dogs and the bicycle. The flowers depicted in the mural, similar to those on the green dress Julieta wore at her graduation, evoked the image of her ascension to eternity. Julieta's mother, with teary eyes, explained that the mural, full of emotion and meaning, would be a constant reminder of her daughter and how loved she was in her community. In response to the wave of protests for justice, the authorities strove to meet the demands of the population. In the months following Christian Romero's arrest, the investigation intensified, seeking to gather as much evidence as possible to strengthen the case against him. One of the crucial pieces of evidence was the odor analysis performed on the accused vehicle, a scientific method that combines the evaluation of odors with the participation of sniffer dogs trained to detect specific traces. The results were conclusive. Julieta was inside Christian's car at some point relevant to the investigation. In addition to the odor analyses, biological tests were performed during the searches at the accused residence. Samples of nails, bodily fluids, and traces obtained with the use of luminol in Christian's vehicle and house were sent for genetic analysis in the laboratory. In statements to the press, prosecutors stated that there was a certain and sporadic relationship between Julieta and Christian, which they considered an aggravating factor, mainly because it was a context of gender violence, with Julieta trying to avoid encounters and Christian insisting. Contrary to what the family claimed, the prosecutor maintained that friends of the victim reported an informal relationship between the two. According to witnesses, Julieta had ended the relationship and blocked Christian on her cell phone. However, for unknown reasons, she unblocked him 2 days before the crime, when he invited her to a meeting that she did not accept. Julieta's parents disagree with the authorities' version, denying any relationship between their daughter and the accused. Fabiana, the mother, stated that Christian showed obsession with the young woman, frequenting the family home due to his work relationship with her other son, Johnny. According to Fabiana, Christian sent constant messages to Julieta, but she never responded, and they were never a couple. Neighbor testimonies revealed that Christian maintained a stable relationship with another woman, who was pregnant and not at home at the time of the arrest. Fabiana revealed that, despite Christian's insistent messages, they never thought of filing a complaint, as they did not consider it a threat. In neighborhoods like theirs, people did not usually file complaints just for messages, but now she believes that young women should take more serious measures in these cases. Julieta used to deal with the situation by blocking Christian, but Fabiana recognizes that what was previously seen as a nuisance is now revealed as harassment. She asks that young women not only block these individuals but also inform the authorities. In 2022, Christian Romero was formally charged with aggravated homicide, with the aggravating circumstance of femicide due to the link between him and Julieta and the context of gender violence. During the judicial process, he remained silent, refusing to make any statements or undergo a psychiatric evaluation. On June 23 of the same year, the judicial process came to an end, with Christian Romero being sentenced to life imprisonment. The sentence was handed down after an abbreviated trial, with an agreement between the public prosecutor's office and the accused defense. The crime, which shocked the region, was classified as doubly aggravated homicide due to the link and femicide. In the hearing, Christian remained silent, only confirming his criminal responsibility for the crime. Fabiana, Julieta's mother, expressed that only her daughter and Christian knew what really happened that fateful night. Despite the pain and lack of explanations, the family agreed with the sentence, feeling that justice had been done after a long battle for the truth. However, Fabiana recognized that Julieta's loss was still devastating and that the judicial process only closed a painful phase of mourning. The case of Julieta Del Pino, closely followed by the community and local media, left a deep mark on Baravivu, exposing issues of violence that often go unnoticed in small towns. The tragedy became a call to confront gender violence and seek justice for victims. Thank you so much for watching this story. Your presence and support are essential for me to continue creating quality content. So, if you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any new episodes. Your subscription and comments are fundamental for me to keep bringing quality content. Leave your opinion in the comments, always with respect for the victims, and together let's build an even better community. Thank you so much for following my work, and I'll see you in the next episode.